So how are you living, Jaryd?
I'm living well, man, for now. Yeah. Like I'm getting by. I'm very proud of that. And yeah, still kicking.
Still kicking. But you've had like a really good year like this last year, right?
Yeah, dude. I think I had a maybe one of the best years I've ever had in comedy, and I'm very grateful for that. But as well, I think there's been so many more years before that year, just like working really hard.
Well, that's what like I can see, right? Is that because I remember you did the Winston years ago and went great. Like, you know, like I didn't think you were like as good as you are now, obviously. And then I saw you again last year at the Jive Comedy Festival, and I was just like, this is a different dude. Like, this is a whole different level. Like, you really stepped up to a point where I was just like, damn, dude, you've been putting in the fucking work.
Yeah, man. I remember that time I was in Durban that year, 2017, and I remember some fun shows, and I also remember some really scary, intimidating, and like it broke my heart a little bit, bro, because like coming to Durban and performing is like for me, it was such an important thing because like I've never really up until that point experienced like a full Indian crowd.
Oh,
and, like,
crazy.
Even then, like in 2017, I had this idea of like what my voice would be like. What am I talking about? Like I've always kind of wanted to speak about Indian identity, and maybe in my own goofy way back in 2017, that's what I was doing. But like I remember coming to a gig at this hotel. It was like on a high floor, and I get there and there's just Indian people, like wall to wall Indian, and aunties in like saris.
So you're thinking, let's go.
I'm thinking they're gonna love me. Neville Pillay was on the lineup too, man.
Oh, well,
and he
I know how
killed
the story's gonna end.
Killed it. And then I went up and I did my weird, hi guys, my name's Jaryd. I'm from Durban. That whole thing, and I bombed terribly, bro. Like it was 5 minutes of absolutely no laughter. I looked out into the crowd and I saw Indian aunties in their saris with their arms crossed, just shaking their heads. Like it was so bad. And then after the show, the guy that was running the show, I wasn't on the lineup. Someone just said, "Hey, I've got 10 minutes. Why don't you take 5 of my 10?"
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is a very kind thing to do. I'm out of town trying to play the rooms and stuff. And the organizer that ran that show was so fucking pissed off, man. Like I remember walking behind him while he shat on the guy that let me come play.
I think, okay, so in Durban, like the way people typically approach Indian audiences is by doing Indian jokes, you know, about the audience, not about yourself. So I think you got a bit too introspective with them and a bit too like, I'm an outsider, insider. Hey, I'm like you guys, but I'm different. And they were just like, no, we want you to make fun of us.
Yeah, I get that, but like, dude, like I think that style of comedy is
Speak your truth, bro.
People enjoy it, and that's cool, but there's more to what we do.
Exactly.
There's so much more to what we do. Like, you can't always be playing that Indian uncle at the braai. Yep. Hey, what kind? Hey, let's buy pussy. Like, it's not that funny anymore to me. Yeah. And like, for me, I just wanted to say and speak and be myself and for my people to embrace me. And that didn't happen that time. So that like really hurt. And I also wasn't there. Like I hadn't figured it out. I was still in my skinny jeans. And
there are those rooms basically with the in Durban and stuff where like it is a bit more old and a bit more conservative, like across the race groups and that. And those gigs are always a struggle.
Yeah.
Like always. But I do find like, yeah, younger audiences these days are like a lot more on board in that. So next time you go back, maybe some of the introspective stuff will actually hit, as long as you just don't do the Globe or something, you know?
Oh, for sure. No, I was there last year for my one man.
Oh yes, I remember you. Yeah,
that was the shit, dude. That was the best.
Was that the Protea Hotel? Eh?
Yeah. That was through Samoka at the Protea. That was dope.
You know, I've never met that dude.
You haven't? Yeah, it kind of looks like an Indian Johnny Depp. Yeah, you'll know when you see him.
I don't know if that's a compliment at this point.
No, like Johnny Depp in the peak of Pirates of the Caribbean when he was so loved.
Okay, fair enough.
by most. No one. We weren't on the set. We don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, you were in Durban again. You made your great return as Indian Jesus,
and it was just Indian people as well, like a full Indian crowd, and they got it. They were with me every step of the way, and it felt love, man. It was really, really, really fucking nice. It's one of those shows like you end up crying on the way home, but it's not because you bombed.
Nice. Like, did it feel like a full circle kind of situation?
Definitely, bro. Like, I was telling jokes about my father that hit harder there than anywhere, and it's because so much of his family was in the room. It was just
crazy.
just the best kind of feeling. Like, I didn't have to explain too much. Yeah, no, it was fun, man.
So your family's from Durban originally?
Yeah, dude. Most of my family, my connections, Durban side. Yeah, I kind of wish I was born there. Like, it wouldn't have been that much of an issue. Like, why didn't you just start there and then come here?
So you could have that lineage,
Yeah.
like you could have that claim.
Exactly. Now I have this weird, fucked up Cape Town identity.
Which you do discuss in your show, basically. Like, and especially with, being Jaryd Dale Pillay. And like, so was there that thing from your parents of like basically trying to give you a better life by like, not giving you an Indian name? Like, because you bring it up in your show.
I think so, in some weird way. And like, I think my parents as well, like it's interesting the time and the place we're in, because like they grew up during that time, and for some reason they never spoke about it to me. Like, it wasn't something that they spoke about openly that often, about how tough things were back then, being what we are. And like, it's weird how I feel the need to talk so much about race stuff. Because like, I grew up in this weird fucking bubble because of it, man. Like, I didn't realize I was that different till maybe like after primary school.
Okay.
I just thought it was weird that I was brown because everyone else was white and we all sounded the same.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So what is the question?
Where the racism kicked in.
Now the racism kicked in primary school, bro. That shit was blatant, dude.
So even from then, like, it was the curry muncher kind of.
Yeah, I heard curry muncher back then. Yeah, it's funny enough though. I only got called the K word by colored people. Yeah, it never really.
Interesting.
Yeah.
In Durban, you'd be called it by Indian people. So
funny. Wow. It's like the pot calling the kettle black though, bro.
Literally.
I find that very interesting.
Yeah. No, like, Indian language in Durban is so different to anywhere else in the world. And like, I wonder what that's like, being here in Cape Town and that. Do you feel removed from like the diaspora, I guess? Or what is the Indian culture like here?
Yo, dude, I mean, the Indian culture here, like, so that would probably be in like Rylands, maybe, like the Cape Town Indian culture. And I was kind of removed from that as well. So yeah, man, maybe there is like a certain sense of longing, but at the same time, so much family, and like I'm not that far away. I go back to Durban very often to visit my family and my connections and stuff. So yeah, it's just a weird thing for me because the thing of being Indian that like bothers me is we've been here for such a long time and we still identify so strongly with Indian.
Yeah.
But we are South African more than we're Indian. Like, it's like 165 years ago that we like came here originally. That's a long fucking time. Most places around the world, like your second generation of people would probably not have that accent.
Yeah, I mean, even if you look in like America being a prime example, everyone's like something American.
Right.
Like, like literally like the first generation afterwards, it's like you're Korean American, you're African American, you're all these other things. Right. But in South Africa, you're Indian.
Yeah. Like, race is so well preserved here though. It's like we pickle race, bro.
Literally.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about apartheid is just, yeah. So, aware, bruh. But I'm grateful for it, though. Like, it's cool. I'm glad to be here and to grow up here because, like, it's nice to have that perspective, and now I have a show to talk about it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You have a pretty unique perspective on the world because of being removed from so many different aspects of, like, different cultures, I guess, like right. Being in whiteness but being Indian, and so like at school and stuff, like where like everyone's like being racist to you and stuff, but like you're basically trying to assimilate in that and then being removed from everything. So
and in a way, like, that culture is still well preserved, like I still have an Indian family at home, like I'm still taking fucking yellow potato curry bread to school every day,
Nice.
Still have some tin fish curry on the yeah, dude. So yeah, I just wondered, like, because I can see in your show, these are the kind of things that it seems like you're grappling with and, like, busy trying to both connect with other people, and that, like, I think these are experiences that people all over the world have, but, like, also especially here in Cape Town, where I can see, like, your things here are way more defined, like you're talking about. Like, in Durban, I think, like, there's a lot more cross-culturalism, and even in Joburg, but here, like,
maybe in the art scene and stuff, things are a bit different. But like I can see like people keep to themselves, and it's quite interesting.
Yeah, that's true, man. But again, I think it's also just like people are separated in their suburbs and their different areas, you know? And that's true, like in Woodstock, OBS, like town, CBD, like everything's a lot more mixed and you don't really see that. But if you take a drive to Rylands, you'll see where all the Indian people are. If you take a drive to the northern suburbs, you'll see where all the asylum seekers are.
The refugees, baby. That's a refugee camp, man.
That's refugee county, dog. I'm going to Refugee County tonight. Really excited, dude. Got a show out there. I can't wait to meet my new asylum-seeking Afrikaans folks. That's going to be dope. Yeah, man. Everyone's going to have an American accent, trade in their K-Ways for Patagonias. I can't wait, dude.
Oh, at least when they come back, we'll get that shit like that Patagonia secondhand for cheap. I like it. I'll finally be able to afford Patagonia. Okay, so yeah, let's talk a bit about the Jive Funny Championship. Okay. You've entered it a few years in a row, and then you didn't make it past the opening round, and then you fucking win the thing. So tell me about that.
Bro. Yo, and it's also weird because the joke that I did throughout that whole process of last year's competition, I'm pretty sure that joke is something I had back in 2017 when I started kind of entering that thing. Was it 2016,
the Durban
2017, 2018?
Like, wow.
Yeah, that whole thing, it's more defined now for sure.
That I can see, because that's the thing. I do remember some of the bits in that from back in the day, but then like seeing it all, like I can see you've been tagging, you've been steadily building it, and you find the rhythm and like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I also just try to make sure I stacked as many punchlines as I can within 3 minutes. Yeah,
yeah.
And that was like a goal for me, man. Like I would listen back to my sets and I would count laughs. I would count the laugh breaks and I'd be like, nah, okay, cool. I can squeeze in another 3 here. But yeah, dude.
But then with that process, was it like, how much of it did you scrap basically? Because you're obviously going to be trying like all these different punchlines, but like, how do you know when it's like hitting, like, because that's the thing, like obviously doing open mics and that, you've got to try a joke like 4 or 5 times to know where it's at. And like, yeah. So about what's that process like preparing for the Jive like thing where you just like, I'm going to go for it with some of these, like, I think they're good, or like, did you have them like already?
I think at that point I had kind of like I had like a pretty good framework, and yeah, it was very easy to just find the tags because they were kind of there already.
Sure.
So now I was just trying to figure out which throwaways work and which throwaways don't, and how can I get the most laughs.
And then also the timing of everything.
Yeah. Well, you don't fuck around. You have 3 minutes in the very beginning, I think. So you go. Yeah. Okay.
And then what is the whole process? Like there's heats and stuff like that?
Dude, like it was so different. So I think the way it was last year has maybe changed a bit since how it was when it was back at Cape Town Comedy Club, you know. Also like a lot more people entered, just a lot more people.
Yeah,
so
it was like 100 and something
like,
or something.
Like 90, something like 90 or something around there. And there were all kinds of people, like people that have never done comedy before and trying to do comedy. So it was nice to watch and see. Because like at that point as well, like I've been around for a while.
Was it really?
Man. It was a long day, dude. It was a long day. And after your set, like now you're just waiting, really. But it was dope. Still a cool experience. And I think that's what that platform is for as well, to like find talent. And maybe in a way I cheated the system because I knew I was funny at that point. And dude, this industry is rejection left, right, and center.
Oh,
and that's something you just have to get used to. It makes your skin thicker. It makes you more resilient. But like, dude, that rejection, it eats away at you, bro. Like it really does. And after a while with enough rejection, you can start telling yourself like, maybe this isn't what I should be doing.
Yeah, see, I'm delusional enough that, I just go, no, fuck you. They're all wrong. I'm not entering that again.
Yeah. I mean, like all those times failing that competition, I didn't think that I would ever
win it.
Never. Like for me, it was more just, it would be nice to get further in so that I can be seen, firstly, by the organizers that have maybe...
Yeah, because they book gigs and...
Yeah. So that was it, man. And it was just nice to first pass the first round. And then I was like, all right, cool. Well, now I'm in the finals.
Do you do the same
sets?
Have fun.
Or like... Yeah, it was the exact same sets. I probably just reworked it a bit and made it funnier and punchier. But I think what helped me greatly as well is just experience, man.
Yeah.
You know, like after like 10 years, you fucking, you know what it's like to play a room where the audience is far from the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of understand what you would have to do to try and to get the laughs to them, you know, longer pauses, project more. that kind of thing.
Also speak to the back of the room, basically.
Always speak to the back of the room, man.
Except in a small crowd, then you speak to the front.
Yeah.
But no, I get you.
For sure, man. Oh, wait, bro. But like, grateful, dude. The journey is a fun one, and you don't know how it's gonna go. I think I started this being quite arrogant and cocky, and thinking that I was gonna. Yeah, dude. I started when I was 18, so I was like really young and juiced up, and I thought I was the shit.
You were full of beans.
Full of beans, and I also drank too much. But I was 18, so that's fair.
Yeah, then I don't know what my excuse is now. Because I still need like one or two to like, I always do dry January, like every January, just to like reset in that. And I fucking hate doing comedy without like 2 drinks.
Dude, honestly, I think you can do whatever you want to do, but like just don't brag about it. Just keep it to yourself. No one's going to know, right? Yeah, that's a good lesson that I learned over the years. Like I remember when I smoke a lot of weed, I still do. But earlier on, there was a stigma. There was a weird stigma around comics that smoke weed a lot, you know? Because it's like, oh, this guy's high all the time. He's not focused, you know? It's like bombing out there, and it's because he's stoned.
I mean, sometimes it is.
Sometimes it is, but
I've definitely had shows like that.
I smoke weed quite regularly, especially before like an open mic gig.
Yeah.
Why not, man? It's fun.
Open some pathways and shit, and like
yeah, dude, you're really trying to find something. Just put yourself in a space that makes you the happiest, and then you will find it, you know? I think Rob told me once, Robbie was like, dude, just, you're young, you're having fun, but just stop telling people you're high.
Yes, literally.
That changed things for me, man. Yeah.
That's the thing, like, I make jokes about it, like smoking weed and stuff like that, but I'm never like, I'm high right now anymore, because I've made those mistakes, and then people as an audience do like trust you less, and it's just like, it can be implied or whatever, but like you don't need to just come out there and say like, I'm fucking so hammy, unless you're like Doug Benson, like, you know.
Right. Well, unless there's a purpose in you saying that, you know.
If
you fuck up something, you're like, it's fine, I'm stoned, or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, dude, there's so many shows where you can smoke weed. It's very acceptable now, where maybe it wasn't as much acceptable back then.
Yeah. What's so funny to me though is those same people were probably doing coke.
Maybe that's why they felt so much guilt. Yeah.
Like cocaine's the one in comedy that's actually like the dangerous one. Like,
yeah, and hey, man, it's Cape Town as well. So
is Cape Town worse than like Durban and Joburg? Because Joburg, it's cat, like, which is crazy, and no, thank you. Like, you know, I don't want to die at 40. But man, Durban, like, coke's like so normal. Yeah. You don't see it around, or
no? I know like people in Joburg do a lot of cocaine as well.
Okay,
yeah. But I don't do cocaine, so like I used to, like, I dabbled in my youth, you know, fucking around.
In your youth, you're still in your youth, but anyway.
Yeah, dog, I really am. But I don't really, like, I hear of friends that are just partying really hard and stuff, and that's cool. I don't like judge that much. It's all good.
You don't judge that much.
Nah, dude, I prefer the natural substances. I think there's more to learn.
Cocaine is a natural substance, but
that
anyway.
Is true. But like mushrooms and weed, like, those are my favorite.
I'm big on the mushrooms, man, but like I don't do them often, like maybe once a year kind of thing, but like I fucking love, like that shit's always like, that is a reset.
Yeah, dude. It's also just for the mental, man. Like after a good mushroom trip, you wake up the next day and you have this optimism in life.
Literally.
You don't know why.
That's what I'm saying. It's such a good reset.
Yeah. I sometimes chow mushrooms with intention. Sometimes I do it like maybe 4 times a year, where like I will every 3 months I'll sit down and I'll have an off day at home and I'll eat some mushrooms, and then like the next Monday I'll book a job, like Crazy. I'll book an acting job,
because you're in a good headspace and that, and you're in a like
sometimes you like hold on to things and you're like, oh, it's gonna happen, and you just let it go. Sometimes it just happens easier, you know. So mushrooms is really helpful with that for me. But don't get me wrong, dude, I do love uppers. That's a fun time.
I mean, literally, except until it gets to the anxiety point, then uppers are a bit of a
yeah, like everything within moderation, suppose. But yeah, cocaine's just a
level too far for you.
Also, it's also like it's a financial bracket. Dude.
That's the problem, bro. Like in Durban, cocaine is like cheap and affordable and like pretty easy to get because it comes straight through like the ports and stuff. So your broker's friend, like can do cocaine. That's the problem in Durban. Like it's like literally your cheapest, brokest, I'm talking about me, friend can do cocaine in Durban. In Cape Town, I can't afford cocaine. So I'm like, I'm good here.
This is a story. I don't know if whatever. So I knew this guy. He was like a friend of a friend back from like the friend group in Durbanville, and this was like a very close friend group. We didn't know this guy though; he was an outsider, and he befriended one of our mates, and then he came over, and he was this like big Afrikaans dude, and bro, like he was so adamant of like pitching cocaine to us. Like he was pitching this shit. He was like, oh yeah, you know, I have like a friend who's at the port, and I can get like beautiful, like 100% Peruvian, like top quality cocaine, not cut, anything like that. And if you guys are interested, he was always very dodgy about that. But like we'd see him at a braai, you know, see him at a braai every now and then. And this guy, I remember one time he came into the first time I met him, he walked into the braai, and that's when I realized I'm the only brown person here. Like I didn't click at that point because I'm with my close friends. Then this thick American Afrikaans, this thick Afrikaans accent comes in, and I'm like, okay. And then he says to me, he's like, yeah, you know, I'm not a racist. Didn't even ask.
Here we go.
Didn't even ask, bro. He's like, yeah, but there's this lady at my work, and yo, Marsh says she's very, very pretty for a darkie.
Oof.
Oh, all right, man. It's one of these. And this guy, so he probably, I don't know what he was doing with the cocaine or how that filtered into his dodgy lifestyle, but he ended up like murdering someone, like someone that like within our friend group's mother, essentially.
Hector.
And yeah, dude, that shit was crazy.
So don't do cocaine, that's what you're saying.
I don't know, dude. The guy was always wired. Man. And yeah, that's my story. Reggie the racist murderer, bro.
Reggie the racist murderer.
I hope he doesn't hear this. He might come for me.
Oh shit, I've got like I'm not even gonna get into it now. But in where I grew up, because I grew up in Umbilo and Durban and that, and like, you know, a lot of my friends have sold drugs. And by my friends, I mean me as well. So it's like we've been in a lot of interesting situations because of that. And like one day I will definitely talk about it on stage, but I'm also just like, I don't know, man, like that side of life is actually, like you don't know it when you're young because you feel invincible, but it's actually genuinely like really scary. And you don't know that you're in scary situations because you're just so like brazen. But like I know like friends of mine who've not necessarily done shit like that, but have definitely gone off the rails. And I've known other people who weren't friends of mine who've, murdered their own moms. So
that's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think people in Durban know exactly who I'm talking about when I say that.
Just contributing towards the white genocide. Terrible, man. All these white lives, man. Gosh.
Yeah, but let's
not talk about drugs anymore.
Let's get back to the Jive.
What a segue.
From cocaine to cool drinks. Yeah, the actual Jive festival that you did like how many shows that's right?
I did every night for a month. So, and well, it was a week less because I was at Arts Festival during that time as well.
So you're still performing? Like,
yeah, dude, I was deathly sick throughout that entire month.
Crazy.
Because like I got a cold and then it progressed into something more than a cold, and now I was just coughing up phlegm every single. And it's weird. As soon as I started performing, fine, completely fine, like handling my shit, get off stage, just coughing, and I didn't get a break in that whole time. So I never really healed until right after, which was interesting. But like, man, it gave me beans.
Yeah, because that's like, I mean, even with the being sick thing and stuff, like you're actually just learning what it's like to be a professional comedian there.
Yeah.
Like that is what it, like, you know, you gotta
show up, dude.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I've had like a chat, like Mojack Lohoko, like we've had chats about it where it's like, you know, no matter what's going on in your life kind of thing, you know, like when you get on stage, like you got to leave that shit behind kind of thing. And you just got to like do the gig, which I still struggle with. I'll be honest with you.
I found a way to like let that like fuel me, man. Like when I'm going through a tough time, man, that gives me so much beans, bro. And I remember when that shit started for me in 2022. I went to Arts Festival I think that was the first time I went with Passion of the Curry. And I was still like workshopping the show. By the way, doing the Artscape in April this year. Please come and see that if anyone's listening. Anyway, so I went to the Arts Fest 2022. I had a girlfriend at the time, and the story has not aged well at all. But she was in, this is crazy. So she was basically in Israel at the time, and told you, not aged well. And on my way to Arts Festival, we weren't doing well. So it was kind of towards the end of this relationship, but many years of just, yeah. So she sends me a text to say, hey, I'm here now. I'm going to start seeing other people. You should do the same. Bro. Dude. That fucking broke me. On the way to the festival. Haven't even gotten there yet. I've got 6 shows to sell.
I've had moments like that as well, where it's like, I've literally got a gig, like a big gig that night, and like you have a massive thing happen like in the day, and I'm just like, how am I meant to be emotionally like compass mentis for this?
Yeah. And I was like not okay, but I handled it so well. Like it just gave me the motivation to get out there and hustle tickets. And I sold so well that year, man. Like I had a really, really great festival.
Would you say that was like kind of where like there was a turnaround for you?
Yeah, dude, for sure. For sure. It's also like that thing of like, what's there left to lose? Like I'm here with a purpose. I'm just going to focus and do my best. But I must say that night that I got there, I was so I hadn't eaten anything the whole day, just stressing about Israeli dudes. Very aggressive. So I got there and I had like 3 beers, bro. And those 3 beers went right through me. And I get to the Rat and Parrot and all of the big comics are standing there having a chat. And I joined the conversation and I almost pass out on top of one of the dudes, bro. I caught myself, went back, threw up, and took a sleep, bro.
3 beers, crazy.
Yeah, dude. Well, you haven't eaten anything the whole day.
Yeah, but
3
the beers
like,
are the
go
food.
through you so quick.
Like the beers are the food. It's bread.
I suppose that's true.
I'm kidding. Don't ever.
Like emotionally, and maybe I was just going through a lot.
No, it's just like that's a music festival parable, basically. It's just, you don't need to eat. There's like beers are basically bread. Like, you're fine.
God damn it, Bob. You're too easy to talk to. I'm sharing way too much with you, man.
Yeah, this does sometimes turn into a bit of a therapy session.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's why I was like, fuck the pillow, man. I don't want to feel too comfortable when I start saying things. And I already did.
But so, yeah. So basically 2022 is like basically where the run-up like starts, you know, like for you.
Yeah, man. Definitely, bro. Yeah.
Because then I think you took the same show back the next year.
2023, back again, sold even better, had some sold out shows, and then also I got my first standing ovation, which I've never experienced before.
Crazy.
And after that, it was like consistency, dude. Like the next show I got a standing ovation, and the next show it was really dope. Then I came back to Cape Town, I did the show again at the Fire and Ice. Again, this is my first standing ovation in Cape Town, which was like just the best feeling, dude. And I'm like, all right, cool,
But what do you think changed there? Do you feel like you were more confident on stage? Do you feel like you had developed the material enough? Do you feel like you were just connecting with people? I don't know.
Everything of the above, man. Definitely. Because I remember that show in Cape Town as well. Like it didn't sell tremendously well. Like there were quite a few people that were comped at that show. And just to like have people that didn't really come for me or know who I was, like get on their feet at the end of the show, I was like, cool, man. I think I'm saying something right. I think like it works. Also, my girlfriend's parents were in the audience, and that was like just the biggest flex. That was so nice. Yeah, that was the first time her mom and her brother came to watch me.
You see, for me, that terrifies me. Like, also just because of the stuff I talk about, like, you know, the death of God and all these things. So I'm just like, yeah, I've never really, like, my mom's only seen me twice, and like, no one else in my family has seen me do comedy, and I'm pretty cool with that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, dude, that's perfect, man. You don't want your parents and your close family at everything.
Yeah, like I'm talking about eating ass and shit. Like,
yeah, it's
not eating ass and shit, just eating ass and shit.
I think it is also inevitable at some point they're going to see what you do and say it with your chest, dude.
No, that's it. It's just like I do eventually want to get into family material, like for comedy, and we'll see where the relationships lie with people before I do that.
Sometimes it's a full circle moment as well, dude. Like I tell a lot of jokes about my father, bro, and like my dad's also like one of my biggest supporters, dude. And
that was the
like
thing I was gonna ask.
Laughing at it, bro. And my dad's uncomfortable with it too. Like he'll sit in the fucking front row and look at you in the eyes while I'm talking about him. Just look at you in the eyes.
He's just like judging you the whole time.
No, he laughs. He laughs loud, bro.
Yeah, but like it feels like
serious.
he's like, okay, make me laugh. Okay, Okay, good joke. Good joke.
I don't think he gets it. Like every time he comes to the show, he sits like in the front row, second row, where he can see me and I can see him. Dude, come on, man.
Yeah. I had Kakiso Ladiga give me shit once because I did that in Durban. Like, I was a pretty young comedian at the time. And, like, I was sat in the front row because there were no other seats. And, like, I didn't want to stand at the back. I had, like, a woman with me. And I was like, and he was like, come on, bro. Like, I was just like,
I suppose comedians feel self-conscious about those things. Like, I also get it. Like, when you have comedians in the crowd and they sit in front, yo, dude, now you're like, I see you. You see me.
I'm never that stressed about it, to be honest. I kind of like having comedians in the crowd because I'm like, you'll get it at least.
I love hearing comedians in the crowd.
Yeah.
Because
right at the back,
we all have these distinctive laughs.
Yep.
And that that just fills my heart with so much joy. Especially when it's a throwaway and no one gets it.
And then you just hear that big, like, crack up from someone. Yeah.
Yes. Cool. That was for you.
Just did a visual joke that we're not going to repeat.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't even notice. Oh, I'm a little neo-Nazi. My bad.
But yeah, so that consistency basically with that show, like, how has actually, well, that's the thing I wanted to ask you. How's it developed from its initial stages to now? Like, how have you seen the show evolve?
Like, so much. I think every year I kind of switch out maybe like 15 to 20.
Crazy.
But like, it's also stories. Like, I think in the very beginning I had all these masturbation jokes, you know? Yeah, and then I realized, why am I talking about jacking off? You know?
You
like,
could
it's
be
funny.
talking about fucking.
Yeah, but it didn't serve a purpose. And I was like, let me just put in a story that's a bit more like real and that like I want to talk about. And then it works better, you know? Because it is fun. It's also like a single man's joke, jacking off. It's very much a single man's joke.
I mean, it can also be a married man's joke, depending on the marriage. But
that is so true. Oh my God. I never thought about it like that. But I'm not married, so
you're all good still.
We'll get there. You know what? Let me save all those jack-off jokes in my 20s for my 40s. I think that would be good.
Everything old is new again, bro.
Yeah, man. God damn.
So it's been a process of basically just finding the proper through length and like the proper like narrative for it.
I've heard that this whole process, and I believe it's true, like this whole process of piecing together a show is probably a lot smoother with a director with like a fresh pair of eyes that can help direct where you should go. And I decided to just not do that. Like, I wanted to figure this out myself because having that skill is something that I can use every time. Yeah. You know? Although at some point in the future would be nice to get another pair of eyes on. But you know how it is with comedy. Like, we consult with our friends and the people that we gel with, you know? Because that's the thing about a director that kind of like puts me off, where I'm like, I don't want my thing to sound like this person, like this other comedian.
Yeah, but that's why you got to get the right director, basically. Exactly. Someone who can like understand your voice. Like, I mean, the thing is, you look at like Kate's show and stuff, Mojack directed that. And it's like, you know, she's doing everything in her voice, everything that suits her and that. But like, obviously he helped with structure and pacing and things like that, I think. So like there are, like that's the thing. It's about finding the people who actually know what they're doing in the thing as well. And not just your friend who, you know, is like, oh, I'll direct that, bro.
No, well, it's never that conversation. It's me. So we have a writing group. I've got a writing group of comics that I love.
I can see that's been having a good effect, like on the Cape Town scene, because like I can see just with all the tags you guys have on your jokes, like you're not leaving any meat on the bone, and it's like I'm like, fuck, I need to write more. God damn it.
Yeah, man. Like, I prefer hanging out with those dudes. They're the best. The hang is quality. Always leave with like a new minute or 2 minutes. Like, it's productive, man. And then as well, like I can say, what do you guys think about this? What do you think about this here? If I put that here, and they're like, maybe we can try that, and then I'll do it at a show, and then they're there and they say, yeah, that works, dude. You should keep it that way, or nah, don't say that, or it's that kind of thing. I prefer that process, to be honest.
So is that camaraderie like
that camaraderie is so nice, man. Yeah, I love that about comedy.
But would you also say, like, because in Cape Town it seems like some of that's been quite intentional, like with the writing groups and stuff like that, and people working together in that. So it's like, I would assume you would attribute that to like the current like boom in Cape Town comedy.
Probably. Yeah, that could be true. But as well, I think that camaraderie's been around since before the boom, dude. Yeah. Okay. I've always, like, it's you know that vibe at Armchair where you hear someone tell a joke and then you're like, oh, dude, you could put that there. And then you go up to them after the show and you're like, hey, man, I really dig that joke. What about this? And then they're like, oh, shit. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, I've built some, like, lots of stuff. Like, Robbie's done a lot of that. He's like, I don't think people know that. Why don't you, like, work on that or try this or whatever? Or, like, he's giving me like a tag, and then on that tag, like you build like a whole extra minute. Like,
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah. So I know, like I love that camaraderie like aspect to it too. But it is also such an individual sport, which is like the weird thing because you're also kind of competing with each other at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
So how's that for you? Like here.
I try not to focus too much on the competitive elements of it, man. You know, like I am competing with myself at the end of the day. So
the man in
I'd
the
rather
mirror.
Just and like you know how it went in your heart of hearts.
Yeah.
You know how it went. You need to ask someone how it went. All right, let's work on that.
Yeah. The problem for me though is just like, why did it suck? Like why did it go badly tonight? And why do they like them tonight? And what the fuck did I do wrong? And what are they doing right? You know, that's how like I like see things. Like I'm just like, okay, I fucked up tonight. Like what's the game tape say? Like
How do I make myself more likable to the specific kind of audience that I might see again or I might never?
yeah, of course. But like that's the thing. Like you do have to like learn to adjust to different things. But also like I don't know. Like I'm still in a space where like I try different styles and like delivering things in different ways just to like find the greater persona, you know, on stage. Because I know who I am off stage, but like on stage, like even though I've been doing this for like 12 years now, it feels like there's a disconnect between me on stage and like the me that I'm trying to like shine through, I guess.
For sure. I think that process is never ending, really.
Yeah.
You know, like you're always finding a new voice and then trying to work that voice. You know, so that's why the open mic is such a sacred place, man. And there's so much of that shit in Cape Town. And I will play open mic till the day I die. I love the open mic, dude. The open mic is where it's at. Also, I can smoke weed before the show. Have a really good time. Figure it out.
Do you not smoke weed before other shows? Do you sort of like lock in and like...
There's so many stoner shows, though. There's so many of those and like... Yo, dude, I love watching a comedian struggle at a stoner show. That is the best. Because you know everyone's greatest hits. And when their greatest hits don't land, that's the type of crowd you're dealing with.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also learning that maybe I need to like bring the greatest hits just earlier into my sets. Like here, like basically because like I'm trying to gain trust with the audience with like doing, you know, silly little jokes about my appearances, everything, you know, the dumb shit that you do to like get people on board in the beginning. But like, those jokes aren't the hits at the moment. You know, those are all those things I'm working on. And like, I'm like, I'm losing them in the beginning and then I win them in the middle. And I'm like, no, I need to like win them in the beginning and then like.
Yeah. Win them in the beginning, lose them in the middle, win them back in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, start strong, bro. I also like, I think I have like my opening joke, which if that doesn't go well, then I know, cool, we're in for an interesting evening.
You see, but that's the thing. I always want to have the banger in the back pocket, like just in case I'm just like, oh, I need to pull this out. But like, yeah, I get the strategy of just like knock them dead in the beginning so that they trust you.
Back to the weed shows though, the reason why comics struggle at those lineups is because they don't get high before. Truly, I believe like if you're on their level, like it's easier to understand. Because stoner crowds are fucking awesome. They're great, not great laughers.
Yeah.
But they're very high.
No, I'm
They're
bored,
appreciating it on the inside. They're loud smilers. And then after the show, loud smilers, bro. After the show, they'll come up to you and say, oh my God, we love that show, bro. That was very funny. Yeah, thank you. I wish you'd laughed, but
yeah,
appreciate.
Those are both my favorite and least favorite kind of audience members because it's just like, I can see you're enjoying the show, but like everyone else thinks like this is sucking because you're not laughing and you're enjoying the show. Like, or at least I'm thinking that. But yeah, I get to in my own head sometimes. It's like so fucking annoying. But you seem to have found like peace and purpose. Has there been a journey with that?
Lots of mushrooms, Bob.
Is that it? So we're going back to the mushrooms.
Why are we talking about drugs so much?
I thought like it might be, you know, like meditation or like reading a specific book or something.
I found a good routine, I think, dude. Like I try to get on stage a certain amount of times a week. And
so you stay fresh.
Stay fresh. Like I don't take long breaks in between performances. Because I think those breaks as well, that's when the ball stops rolling. And to get it rolling again in the consistency it was can be a challenge. But when you're there again, it's good, dude. So I try to, where does the peace come from, though? I don't know. I think I'm just in a good space. I'm really happy, man. Got the love of my life at home. I've got a dog. Like, I'm very, very happy. I'm like just making ends meet, and at the same time, I have things coming up that I'm looking forward to. So it's not like I'm broke and there's nothing happening. Like I'm broke and things are happening. I need to make more money so that I can fund those things.
Well, those things happening might lead you to you being less broke.
Less broke, but also more broke. It could be. It could be. Like that's the balance in life.
Yeah, because you're doing the Artscape.
Yes, I am doing the Artscape from the 9th to the 12th of April. Wednesday to Saturday.
And you're promoting it yourself in that? Because I know you've done stuff with Smoker before.
Yeah, I'm promoting it myself. But I think this is just what needs to happen.
So Artscape's like basically over the 3 nights will be about 300 tickets in that.
4 nights.
4 nights. So yeah, so there'll be like
516 tickets.
And how are you feeling about that? You feeling confident? You feeling like...
Yeah, dude. Just trying to believe in myself as much as I can. There's always these moments in the journey where you think, am I going to run out of self-belief? And then somehow you don't. And I have my ego to thank for that. But yeah, I think it's going to work out, dude. Just put in the effort and market as best as I can. I think it's going to work. Up until this point, it's worked. So.
Do you feel like you have a fan base now, though? Is basically what I'm trying to get at.
Yes, dude, I do. But that's the consistency, I think, with like running a weekly room and chatting to audience members. That's something I learned recently. Like I've never been the one to like mingle as much because you feel so vulnerable.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I actually just want to grab a beer and talk to the comedians now. But like, dude, those relationships you form are really important. And those are the people that will come back and buy tickets to the show again. And so like building that relationship is like really important, dude. And even more so than fucking social media. I hate that thing. I hate social media so much, but I'm doing it. Like I have to do something.
Well, I think social media is how you get people in the doors. Like, and then like you're saying, because we were talking about it earlier, like I see with, you know, the open mic and Not Quite Right that we do, that's been built up over a period of time. And it is by us hanging with the people after the show and that. And we've created like a cool vibe where people keep coming back week after week. Like we have regulars at an open mic where people tell the same jokes week after week. Obviously there's different jokes in between and that, but like if you come like twice in a month, you're definitely going to have heard like some of those same jokes. People still come back, and it's like it's because they enjoy the vibe. They enjoy, hanging out afterwards, and
I think that's a real comedy supporter right there. Someone who's heard the jokes so many times, and they come for that one time that it's different. Like they don't come for that, but they appreciate it.
Yeah, and they see the evolution and stuff, and like
like they really appreciate the art form, which is great, bro. Some people don't understand comedy like that, and they think, oh, that guy was shit because I've heard his joke before. Yeah. No, he's not shit because you heard it before. Like he's working it. Like it's gotten better if you haven't noticed. Like it's growing.
There's more to it. That was, you know, one line the last time you heard it. It's 3 minutes now. Like, did you not hear everything that I said afterwards?
Yeah. And I don't think we should be throwing away our jokes either, because especially if it's about yourself, you can use that thing forever, bro.
Yeah, and it does depend on audiences and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, you know, but when you travel in that, and like, depends on what you have recorded, it depends on stuff like that. But I think in South Africa, your chances of like performing to people who have seen you before are generally quite low.
Yeah, that's what I love about this thing, dude. Like, I couldn't give a fuck about fame, man. I really just want to be well known enough to sell tickets. Yeah. That's it.
That's always the dream. Yeah. Well, at least for me, it's just like, that's all I want, man. Can I just like pay rent off this shit? Like,
oh yeah, dude, that's fine. Like rent and a little bit of disposable income. Yeah. Just a little bit, you know. I'm not asking for too much. I just want to buy good dog food for my baby. You know, that's all.
Yeah, I just want to, you know, not have to just always buy outdoor weed. Like,
yeah. You know? Oof, that's a shame, bro. I'm sorry, man. You're in Cape Town now, Bob. There's a lot of cannabis places. But they go do it, bro.
No, but they're like, you don't understand the difference here, like between Cape Town and Durban in terms of weed, where it's like, so in Durban, I had 3 weed shops within like 20 meters of my flat. Like I walk out and then there's a corner store, a weed shop, a hairdresser, a weed shop. And then across the road, there's Davenport Cheese and Yama, and then next to that is a weed shop. Nice. So the prices are very competitive. And I find Cape Town weed pricing is not very competitive. The market share is not bottomed out in a way I would like.
There's certain clubs you can go to here where you'll get like a really good deal on weed. Like I go to Rooftop 420 a lot.
Yeah,
I really
that's
like it.
same. Like, so that's the thing. I'm buying their outdoor, their 10 grams for $250 or whatever, which is like, I'm like, yeah, that's
This is good outdoor, man.
very good outdoor.
Yeah.
No, and like, I'm not
It's not like
a,
the bag seeds you used to get from your guy.
no, like, well, weirdly enough, I used to be the guy. So I used to
Bob's bag seeds.
I used to deliver like on my scooter, like in the afternoons and stuff. People would put in there because in Umbilo there was and still is a place you can go deep in Umbilo and you can buy liters of weed. And so I used to do that for a very long time and like paid for, quite a few things.
Man, last time I was in Durban, I went to 2 cannabis shops in Chatsworth. Like there's probably more than 2. Definitely. But I went to the first one and it was so fucking nice to walk into a cannabis shop and just see other Indian people getting fucking and you know what? I have this theory. I think the cannabis shops in Chatsworth are always full because you can't smoke weed at your mom's house, bro. Like you gotta go to the club.
No, but that's like you're not wrong. Like I think in general, like even black people, Muslim people, like Indian people in Durban, like you go to the clubs and that and like all the different shops and whatever, and that's the clientele that's sticking around and hanging out and smoking. Like white dudes come and get their weed and fuck off. But like I think you're completely right there. It's just
Indian
like
teenagers and uncles and fathers just smoking it up, bro. I love that shit, dude. And the prices are very nice, man. Like I got a pack of gummies there. It was like R5 a gummy.
Yeah.
Yeah. R5 a gummy, dude.
Yeah. And here it's like
Craziness.
50 rand a gummy and you're just like,
Oh man, the prices are crazy out here.
yeah, so that's the thing. My income hasn't caught up with this city, and I need to get on that because that is stressful. But you're doing voiceover to help get you by.
Oh yeah, man. I do various things. I'm also like on the freelance thing for a while now, man. So I do a range of things that like add up to a very humble income.
Yeah, including acting in Resident Evil, apparently, according to
sir.
your IMDb. Like,
I had
you have an IMDb?
I do. I didn't. It's. But yeah, that's cool, man.
Tell me about that, dude. Like,
I studied acting. Like that was the goal.
Yeah.
And then reality hit, and I mostly do commercials and stuff, and whatever other opportunities that arise. And those commercials help, man. Like that's kind of that kind of income sets you up for a while.
Yeah.
Until it runs out, and then you have to scurry for the next one.
And you better hope that like it gets renewed like in 2 years. And,
yeah. Sometimes it does though. Although my agent's got this really cute way of doing things, and I love her to death. My agent, she's amazing, but she does this really cute thing where like she doesn't tell me when I've got a renewal coming in, which is like it would be nice to know.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay,
you can plan
damn,
for
I've
it.
got like some bucks coming in.
Meanwhile, she's also like, here you go, here's a couple grand.
Yeah, no, it will just come in, and then she'll be like, by the way, you got a renewal. And sometimes it's really nice. I'm like, hey, but that
Another time I was eating noodles last week. Fuck.
yeah, dude, that money comes in just when you need it. Like your back's against the wall, rent is due. How's it gonna happen? By the way, you got already. Oh, thank God. Live to fight another day. And then I do voiceovers during the day. That helps me get by. Like various studios, do a lot of dubbing work and all sorts of other things. In COVID, I did erotic novels.
Crazy.
I did like a series of gay erotic novels. Really interesting because it's just male voices. And I did all of the male voices, so I was fucking myself. It was wonderful, man. It's such a weird experience, I must say. Like I'd rock up to work every morning and like we're recording at a studio.
You're doing a one-man play that's like all erotica.
Yeah, it's my mate's studio and he's also quite an avid stoner. So we'd get up there in the morning and we knew we had like 3 gay sex scenes. All straight men, just me and my straight sound engineer. Then we smoke bongs, man. And we get in there and we just read it. Just go through it. Sometimes like, I have to stop and be like, all right.
Yeah, because you're getting a bit of a chubby.
I've had enough talking about cum right now. Let's slow this down. So yeah, I do a lot of things, man. And I also MC. That's also another substantial chunk.
Oh, crazy. Yeah, I know that's where you can make some pretty decent money.
You can, yeah. You can, with the corporates especially.
But how do you approach those? Because I know everyone's quite different and like, also there's different levels in terms of like names and stuff like that. Like Alfred Adrian could do it and like, all of that. And so like where are you finding yourself within that like sphere?
It does seem that there's a filter.
Yeah.
And whatever trickles down at the bottom, I'm happy to humbly suck on the teat, bro. Like I will take the gig. I will do it.
So you'll do the Nedbank Golf Day.
Oh man, I'm open to anything. Like, please book me. I'm keen. But for the past 10 years, I've also just been like a resident MC at the casino, and that's been very helpful for me. Like consistent.
Wait, what does that entail?
So I host a lot of I MC a lot of the draws and whatever functions and promotions that they have, and like I'll rock up in a suit, and
That seems like a pretty cushy gig.
yeah, before COVID I think it was probably a lot more consistent and a lot nicer. But that being said, it would take me away from stand up a lot
Yeah.
more. So I think COVID was that perfect balancer where like I now have just the right amount of gigs from there to like make up a portion of what I need of my debit orders essentially. And then I have the freedom to go out and do stand up the other nights. So I'm there maybe like twice a week, 3 times a week sometimes. And then the rest of my week I'm at a comedy show, man.
Nice.
You know, even if I'm not getting paid, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, well, you will make your money. Like, you have to do the free gigs and shit. Like, that's just a way, like you say, you got to do the max. Like,
Yeah.
That's a part of the thing. It's going to school.
It's worth more than money, dude.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the thing. I'm just trying to find the balance between those gigs and actual paid shit. And like, yeah, it's also that balance, like even looking for jobs now and stuff where it's just like, I can't have too many weeknights that I'm working because like I want to be doing comedy in that. And I can maybe work 1 or 2 weekend nights because in the day I do all my other shit and like, you know, trying to balance all this stuff.
It's a balance, dude. Although sometimes that balance can like really fucking suck. Was it last week Tuesday, I think, or the week before? Dion Cole was in town.
Yeah.
I don't know if he still is, but he was at the gig
on
that Tuesday night.
I know he came through to the gig I was at and then left because it was sucker.
It was cock, wasn't it?
And then, like, I didn't even see him because he came in at the end when Simi was on and stuff. And then, like, I was in the front watching Simi.
Dude, that being said, like, no disrespect to that gig. That gig is sometimes, like, really, really, really dope.
No, I love comedy on Kloof. Like, I really do. Like, there's always bad. Some nights it's bad. Like, it was a small crowd. They were, like, a mixed, like, audience in terms of nationalities and stuff. And it was just, I mean, Simi got them there. But, like, I think everyone can agree that it was a bit of a hard room that night. And Dion saw that. And Callum was like, you want to go check out Movable? And then, he went. And, like, that's the thing. I didn't even really know about it until, like, afterwards. And, like, because I just went home.
Story as well. Yeah. And I was going to go out that night. And then I had, like, a really long-ass day of, like, voiceovers. And I had an audition. And then I had to go to emceeing after. And, like, at the end of that day, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to stay in tonight. I think that's the best decision for me. And then an hour later, I see on Instagram, Dion Cole's in town. I'm like, oh, fuck. Fuck, I fucked myself trying to balance this stupid shit.
Yeah, it's funny because I was on the way back and I got a message from Akil saying like, oh, Dion Cole's here, blah, blah, blah. And like, so with Jamie and that, with my girlfriend, like, you know, I've been like, yo, I'm going to be home mostly like 10:11 most nights. Unless, you know, it's a big name comedian from overseas who I can have a drink with kind of thing. Like if I have those kind of situations pop up, I'm probably going to stick around.
Yeah.
And she was in the car with me. She was like, oh, you can go back. And I was just like, it's fine, you know. But like, I think he's around for a while and we'll get to watch him. And
definitely, man. But it's cool to see that in Cape Town. Like
that's
to see
the
all
cool
the different like international faces that just pop up and are keen to just jump on at a local gig. What a treat, man. Like the audiences in Cape Town sometimes like
don't even know what they have.
Yeah, man, they don't even fucking know what they have, man. Even like fuck the internationals, like some of our local comics 100%. Are so fucking good.
I was literally just thinking that now. Like there's names in South Africa who are so good. And like the audiences don't even know like who these people are half the time because they're not even from here.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's very interesting. I remember I was at that same gig that you were at that Dion left. Craig Robinson came one night.
Yes.
Yeah, he was just chilling in the back and I was supposed to headline that night. Obviously, I didn't. But I went last and the microphone cut out, dude, like 5 minutes into my set. There's like a full house. Craig Robinson's watching at the back. Microphone cuts out. I'm like, all right, fuck it. I guess I'm doing this out of the mic. Fuck.
And then how'd they go?
It went great, dude. Yeah, I killed it. But it was also just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was really uncomfortable.
And that's you got to step up. Like, that's literally it. Like, at this moment, you got to be like, I'm a professional. I can do this. But you're just like, fuck.
I wanted to talk to him after the show, but I was just so in my fucking head about the whole thing that went wrong. Like, I got out sweating. And he was like, good set, man. And I was like, yeah, thank you. And then I just fucked off. But fucked off and had a smoke.
That's still sick.
Yeah, no, it was cool. Cool dude. also just like it's so nice to see like when a crowd gets starstruck.
Yeah.
They change. It's like they get wet.
Yeah.
They get wet and they'll laugh at anything. And you're like, damn, I wish you thought of me like that.
Literally.
That would be so nice.
Bro, I trust me, I know. Because like Craig Robinson at the armchair and that, like I went and chilled with him because, I was closing the second half. He was opening the second half with his piano and shit. And like, so that was crazy. But he was smoking a joint before. And like, I literally went up and like chatted to him. He roasted me. And then, like I sat and chatted to him for a little bit. We both smoked our own joints. And then, went and watched. And then, like, he had the whole full room, fucking big laughs, everything. He finishes, he fucking leaves, goes outside. Half the fucking crowd leaves with him. And then I can't remember who did the death slides afterwards. I think it might have been Tristan or something. And then, I got up afterwards and I was like, cool, this is humbling as fuck. But like I did had a good set, like I had a really good time, and the audience that stayed enjoyed it, but it was just like, okay, so this is what it's really like.
Yeah, man, it's always humbling. It's like being on the lineup with Mark Lottering, dude. Like honestly, even if he's closing the first half, or like if he's at the end of the show, it doesn't matter how well you did that night. Like the crowd is always going to be moist. Like that crowd is there for comedy. If Mark's on the poster, bro, they will laugh their asses off at you. And then as soon as Mark goes on, they forget who you ever were. Like at the end of the show, usually after a good night, like you'll meet audience members and they'll say, nice show.
Yeah.
And say, oh, thank you so much.
After that, they're like, can you take a photo of us?
Yeah. Can you take a photo of me and Mark? Yeah, no problem.
Literally. Although one of the best things in stand-up comedy is when you open for like a bigger name or something like that, and audience members come up to you after the show and want a photo and are like, oh, you were really good and stuff. And that's when it's like, I made it.
Honestly, I'm just trying to steal their audience, bro. Like, I'd really love for you to come watch one of my shows.
I mean, that is the whole point of opening for people.
I love that, though. It's really nice that we can collaborate on that level, dude. And that's that camaraderie again, bro. Like, it's really nice, dude.
Yeah.
You see a lot of that at Arts Festival, dude. And then to leave that and come back to town and then to still have that, like, kinship. It's really dope, man. Especially with, like, an older comic says, oh, you got a show coming up. Come open for me. Plug your thing. That's the sweetest thing, dude.
Yeah, and like that's, I mean, it's kind of like I've been thinking about it with the whole Kendrick Super Bowl thing and him bringing out DJ Mustard and that. And it's just like, yeah, dude, you got to like give that space to other people. You got to like, you know, if I win, we win kind of situation. And like, I can feel that that's a thing that's like, feels real here kind of thing. Like it's actually like everywhere else, things feel a bit more competitive and a bit more crabs in a bucket kind of vibes. And like here, it just seems like, you know, there might be some people like feeling a little jealous or whatever of some shit, but in general, like it does seem like for the most part, everyone's on board, and like, you know, it's just like a rising tide lifts all boats.
For sure. Yeah, that jealousy is a part of the game, bro. Like if you love this thing as much as you should love it, it's gonna hit you a little bit. Like you're gonna feel something about it. You're gonna feel like, oh, that should be me.
Literally.
And that's okay. That's a natural feeling, bro.
But then you also need to analyze why it's not you.
Yeah, and work harder.
In an honest way. Because I used to do that in a their wrong way. And like more these days it's more like, no, what are you doing wrong?
Exactly.
Okay, but also the Resident Evil thing.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about it. How did you get that? What role did you play? What was the vibe?
Went to an audition. Actually I did a self-tape. I didn't audition in person. I did a self-tape. It was just coming out of COVID and they were filming it here, and I did an audition and I sent it in. And then originally I auditioned for like a security guard, and then I got like I got casted as like what was it? The guy at the harbor. What was his name? Ferryman. Yeah, Ferryman. It was really cool.
So
fucking
like
great experience. Yeah. I
haven't seen the
dialogue,
movie, so like,
and then I had a little bit of dialogue. Then had my main lines, and then right after that I got shot in the head. And this big action sequence followed, and it was really fun. It was a fun shoot.
So you kicked off the action sequence.
Yeah. After I get shot in the head, that's when everything sort of rolls, and it was really fun, dude. I had to do like minimal stunt things that I didn't really. And it was really cool to see how that was done, and also like I studied acting. I can be a serious actor if I want to. I just don't, because theater doesn't pay very well. But when those opportunities come to do some TV,
theater
or a
doesn't
film
pay
thing.
well when theater kids are becoming comedians. Like,
Well, it's financially, it makes sense, dude.
that's what I'm saying. That's crazy because comedy doesn't pay well. So it's like, if theater's worse than comedy, fuck.
But now you don't have to share that profit with anyone, dude.
Fair enough.
it's
You don't have the
just
whole
you.
cast and crew.
Yeah, man. Because now imagine selling the same amount of tickets for an intimate show at an intimate venue. Now you're splitting that by 5. That's so dumb.
This is the band's like versus electronic producer thing. Like so many people did this. Like so many people who have been in bands start side projects that are 1 or 2 people like in their bedrooms kind of thing. And like that's actually where they make their money, because they like, splitting fucking 500 rand 5 ways is not great.
And I strongly feel all of these actors and performers that are stepping into stand-up now, the new ones, they're going to fucking thrive, dude. I've seen so many of these people who come up on stage and they have that performing experience as an actor.
Yeah.
They hold presence.
You can see it immediately.
They project.
And I hate it because I'm just like, fuck. I should have trained. I should have fucking studied some sort of like stage thing other than getting up and like just figuring it out. Like, because like you can see it, like you say, like I can see it. I'm like, oh, that's a theater kid.
Yeah.
Like sometimes derogatory, but like mostly complimentary. Like
All they need to learn is the comedy now. They've
Yeah.
got like the framework for everything else. They just need to learn the beats, and some of them have it. So
although there is also an aspect of comedy that is like, I mean, it depends on the kind of comedy you do, but that's getting rid of the contrivedness of the stage performance.
Right.
Obviously not John Mulaney, but like, I mean, I was going to say Dave Chappelle, but his stuff actually is quite contrived even when he's trying not to be. But like Bill Burr, like is a prime example of someone who just like, even though there's tons of stagecraft and tons of like, things that he's doing that are very subliminal and very like intentional, it comes across as it's just so relaxed and so there. And I think that's the thing theater kids can maybe struggle with sometimes, because they're always like
for sure.
projecting to the back of the room.
But those are things you can unlearn. I think with me, that took a long time to unlearn those things and to try and talk like myself. So I remember like early on, like I just came out of acting school and I was like very energetic. I thought of myself as like a very energetic performer, and I tried to be as physical as possible, and I projected and I had all these characters and I acted out things. And yeah, man. And I think I really had to learn how to tone that shit down and be present, bro. Because that's the one thing that was probably missing is presence, And yeah, I think once I figured that, it became easier to learn to be a better comedian.
Yeah, that is one of the biggest aspects to it. And like I say, like even me to this day, like when it hits, it's because I'm present. And when it's not, it's because I'm too in my own head. And I'm just like, I'm not in the room. Or like I'm in the room and I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah. That presence is a motherfucker, bro. Like you can be as present as possible. You can hear that one guy that's laughing weird and everyone else heard it. You comment on that one guy, you'll get an extra laugh out of it, man.
Literally,
fun,
like you can tag it, like you can bring it up. That's like part of why like doing crowd work can be helpful. Like as a host, it teaches you how to.
Oh, that's another thing. You want to get good at this thing quickly? Host a show once a week.
Yeah,
Like that shit will that'll give you some hair in your chest, dude.
yeah, you get good quick, or you fuck off, basically. Like
No, it doesn't work.
yeah, because it teaches you like you don't have this thing. Like if you do it like that much and you're just like still sucking and you're just like fuck, I'm never connecting, then it's just like, hey buddy.
I think it's like there's a positive and there's a negative to that as well. Like some people who are headlining more don't want to host because they just want to tell their jokes. They don't want to have to like build the crowd up to it.
Yeah, but you need to learn the skill of hosting
sure.
like early, I think. That's the thing. I think you don't have to host like forever. But like I definitely think if you're like 2 years into comedy or 3 years into comedy, that's a good time to maybe start hosting a show and like actually getting those skills up, because now you know how to tell jokes and that. Now learn how to interact with the crowd.
So like breaking down those fears in your mind of like talking to an audience member during a show and looking at people in the eyes and stuff. And
just trusting that you're going to find something funny.
yeah. That's fun though. That's the most fun. Just trusting that there will be a punchline, even if you don't hear anything now for the next 5 minutes.
5
There
minutes
will
is
be a
bit
laugh.
long.
Yeah, that's way too long. Just get the next act on. Do a side A, side B.
Oh, there's nothing worse than that when a host is dying and they just like chasing it. So you're just like, bruh, just bring me on, please. Like you're making it worse. Everything you say right now is just making it harder for me.
Yeah, dude. But that being said, you're not going to get good without doing all of that shit
know.
first.
I know.
Yeah.
Cool.
Beautiful beast.
One thing I did want to say, when you're done with Passion of the Courier, you're gonna cut your hair.
Yo, dude, I've been thinking about this for the last 10 years. No, I might, yeah. I've got another show that I'm kind of already working on now. Like I started last year trying to piece it together. And it doesn't require me to have long hair. This is a lot of hair, dude.
And it's hot. Like as global warming gets worse, bro. Like, yo.
But like, it's odd. Last year I wanted to cut my hair and then I started booking all these ads for having long hair. Now I'm like, well, all right. Well, if it's going to work out this way.
That's your USP.
Puppy needs some new food, bro. Let's get that good shit. Yeah. Away, bro.
Cool.
Thanks
and then,
for the chat. This has been a lot of fun.
One last question. This question I ask everyone. Yeah. What is a big mistake you've learned an important lesson from?
A big mistake, like within comedy?
In your life and comedy, it's up to you. Just a big mistake that like you're like, that was a lesson.
Not believing in yourself when you really fucking should. I think not really a mistake, but it's something that you should avoid doing. Like you should believe in yourself. You should do it with intention. I went to AFTA because I was too scared to audition at UCT.
Okay.
Because I was afraid that if I got rejected there, not having any drama experience, that I would never want to pursue a career within art, you know? And I think if I just believed in myself a little bit more, perhaps that would have carried through differently throughout those first few years of my life, you know, of comedy anyways. So I'd like, no, cool, this is who I am. I'm a performer. I believe in this shit. Like I don't have to wait for the validation of an audience or from my peers. Because that is a really tough thing, I think, as a young comic. You kind of want that validation so fucking desperately. You want it from the audience. You want it from the people around you. You want to be told that you're funny. But if you believe enough in your juice, one day they will see it. You just have to keep believing in it, you know?
And putting in the work. Like I see a lot of people believe in themselves too much. Yeah. And like they're not like doing the thing of getting better at the thing. They just think they're better. Yeah. But yeah, I feel you.
For sure. Huh. Is that what I want to leave you with? Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to leave you with, bro.
That's what we're going to leave
don't do drugs. It's the other thing.
Believe in
don't
yourself,
do drugs.
Don't
if you
drugs.
do it with intention. And also don't forget your